EGM Network.
Welcome back to Classic Car Radio. We're doing some news, leftover news from the last segments we did. And the next one we have, we were talking about EVs earlier, and the new Charger Daytona EV, there's another story at the drive, fails the burnout test. They could not get the electric Dodge Charger. They're calling it a muscle car, and it's not a muscle car. It can't even burn rubber.
Wow.
So is that a front-wheel drive, that EV?
It shouldn't be.
No, it charges rear-wheel drive.
I mean, it looks really nice. I mean, look at it. Look at it right there. It looks nice.
It looks cool. It does, but it says the Dodge's electric muscle car isn't even available with a line lock feature, which I didn't think anyone really offers. So it can't rip its rear tires at a standstill. We don't know whether one is coming or not. The Burnout, an ode to V8 mayhem and rear-wheel drive mischief, is inextricably linked to the muscle car. So when Dodge announced the world's first and only electric muscle car, enthusiasts assumed it would be capable of roasting the rear tires, but the all-wheel drive isn't a deal breaker. Dodge assigned a motor to each axle, and dialing in the ability to do a burnout would theoretically require locking the front wheels with a line lock to let the rear wheels spin freely with a glorious cloud of smoke, but there's no line lock, however, and the EV can't even do a burnout. So our colleagues at Motor Trend tried to do a burnout with the new Dodge Charger EV, and they failed. So Inside EVs reached out to Dodge for more details and didn't learn much. Will the Charger be available with a line lock? Nope. Will it ever be? Who knows? And Dodge won't comment on it. So what do you think of that?
Another EV disappointment.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
when are they going to stop, man?
I don't get it.
It's an embarrassment.
I know Dodge has a button in their car to stop the car from sliding, so if you hit that button, you should be able to spin the tires.
Why? How could you do that?
I don't know.
Keep you from sliding.
It keeps you from, the traction control stops you from spinning your tires.
Oh.
So if you unleash the traction control, I had a Charger, 2008 Charger, with the button off, I'd be able to spin the tires, but that was, of course, a gas engine.
Right, but this is four-wheel drive also.
Oh, that's right, all-wheel drive.
So they can't lock the front because it would burn out the motors or something. It would have to shut those motors off.
Right, so that's all they really need to do.
I mean, actually, someone's going to figure that out and sell them.
Shut off the front wheels.
Somebody's going to sell those things. You watch. It's not going to take long at all.
I have a switch on it.
Well, and you could either put a line lock. I mean, my wagon's got a line lock on it.
So what'll happen is they use the line lock. It shuts down the two motors on the two front wheels. Okay? So then you squash on the gas. Or we'll call it the gas, even though it's not the gas. And then what'll happen is the battery will explode in fire when it overheats. Because you'll be leaving rubber. Oh, this is so cool. And all of a sudden, whomp, the car's going to go up in flame. You know why? Because those batteries don't like a lot of stress and strain on them. They don't. I know for a fact the LiPo batteries I used in RV planes, and I got one a couple of times, I was pushing it.
Right.
Like trying to push a plane through heavy grass to get back to me because I was too lazy. So I got this 4-foot wingspan Cessna coming at me, and it gets stuck a little bit, so I jack up on that, and all of a sudden the LiPo goes whomp and lights the front of my plane, a $250 plane on fire in the front. So I had to replace the nose.
Jeez.
But you can't really put a lot of stress on those batteries. That kind of stress, like really over push them.
Yeah.
They don't like it. They overheat very quickly. And that might be why you see some of these EV fires. I don't know. But
I think the batteries I don't know, the batteries just wear down, I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust one underneath my butt.
It's like everything else. You can only kill something and charge it so many times.
Right, that's true. Yeah. Right.
And some of the way these things charge, if you look at them, like it shocks the battery like super high real quick and then backs it off. And then super fast and then it kind of backs it off.
Right.
Well, they tell you not to fully charge it constantly.
Yeah.
So they want you to drain as much of the battery load as possible.
That's right.
At least Tesla says that.
Yeah.
Drain it as much as possible, then
recharge it. Right.
And they'll only charge up to 80%, and then you stop, and then you just,
Yeah. If you're going on a trip, maybe you could go to 100 just because you're not doing it that much.
Right.
You know, but they don't want you. They don't want you charging it up too much, and they want you to run it down.
Yeah.
Because it actually does increase the battery life.
And they say that with the phones too. They want you to run the phones
Exactly.
down.
Yeah, run your phone down before you stick the charger on it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, let me just talk about this because I got to go.
Well, you got to leave the show early?
Yeah, I'm leaving early.
Oh, okay.
The Dick Arbatelle Memorial New Year Rod Run, Wednesday, January 1st, 2025. They're going to meet at the Cracker Barrel, the Vero Outlets. I think they open at 7 for breakfast. You're going to leave at 10. They're going to cruise to Riverview Park in US 1 in Sebastian, then on to Memorial Island in the parking lot south of the boat ramps in Vero. The food truck's going to be by Off the Hook, cash or card accepted. Drinks provided by Southeastern Truck and Auto Sales. Bring your chairs. All donations will be going to a person fighting cancer. You can RSVP or a question, email Todd at toddsclassic@yahoo.com. Got anything to say, Todd?
Be there or be square.
There you go. So that's New Year's Day.
Yeah, coming up soon.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
And then, of course, Saturday is the Dunkin' Donuts
Right.
Toys for Tots
Yep.
in the Atlantic, and that's from 8 to 12.
I got to get one of those flyers.
Which one?
One of Todd's.
Oh, I got a bunch of them. I meant to bring them.
There you go.
I'll get them to you tomorrow.
So I have some fun information too. Tomorrow, I have jury duty.
Do you?
Yeah.
Couldn't get out of it.
Oh, what?
You couldn't get out of it.
No.
You actually
I
answered
didn't try to. I didn't
You
try to.
You actually answered it.
Yeah, I
Most
answered it.
people throw them out.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Can't do that.
It's a
I'm just
$100
letting
fine.
you know. I'm just letting you know. I've seen
starting
most
to
people.
think about-
Most people throw them out and don't call.
Maybe I'll pay the $100 fine instead. I get a problem with my back, and I don't know if I get to sit in a chair like,
Well,
on
how does it work?
hardwood bench.
How does it work down here? Do you get a number and then you call and they'll tell you whether you got to come in or not?
No, you got to go in, and
Oh,
you
you
got to
have to
sit
go
there, and then they'll sift through all the jurors, and they might not even have a case pending that day.
Yeah,
They'll
they
use
do
a
the number
jury.
thing first. They pick the numbers, and then if you get picked, then you got to go in.
Yeah. See, in New York, when you got it, they'd give you a number, and each morning you would call, and they'll tell you if they got to that number or not,
Yep.
and you didn't have to go in.
Yeah, that's
But
the
as
one.
long as you call, they count.
Right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I see.
I guess it's different down here. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, the Dick Arbatelle Memorial New Year Rod Run. It's always
Okay.
a good turnout. January 1st.
Very good.
Go ahead. What else you got
Yeah.
going on there?
Well, let's do a little history. You're going to leave on the break, are you? Is
Yeah,
that it?
I'll stay
okay.
for the break. Go ahead.
All right. So this week in auto history, December 14th, 1947, NASCAR was founded by Big Bill France, established the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing in Daytona Beach, Florida. So there you go. That was that's quite a thing.
You know what they should do?
NASCAR.
2027, they should let them run on the beach.
Yeah. Well, you never know.
You know?
Yeah.
Just one time.
Yeah, that's true.
Let them go.
That's where they were running when
That's
they
where
were
they used to run
founded,
on
yeah.
the beach. Let them
Right.
do a little, because it would. But what would that be? This 80th anniversary? 2027 is 80
yes,
years.
80 years. Yeah.
So that they should do a beach run.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
People would love it.
So anyway,
Oh, yeah.
congratulations to NASCAR on your birthday on the 14th of this month, a few
Yep.
days ago. December 15, 1896, believe it or not, Stephen Balzer is granted a patent for the rotary engine automobile 6 years before rotary engine proponent Felix Wankel,
The Wankel.
was to
Yeah.
be born. So Wankel wasn't even born yet, and Stephen Balzer had this patent for the rotary engine, and then Wankel got all the credit for it. He wasn't even born yet when the patent was awarded.
And
for
then
the,
probably
for the
Ford.
rotary
And
engine.
then probably Ford took it from him.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, Ford too. Yeah.
No one Henry Ford. He took
Henry
it.
Ford. Yep. Do they still make those rotary engines for the Mazda?
Is it Mazda?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they still put them in?
I don't know.
I don't think
I
so.
haven't seen him in a while now.
No, I think they started going with regular cylinder engines.
Well, that's the Miata had that, right? The
Right,
Mazda
yeah,
Miata
they all had it. I think all
Okay.
those Mazdas. December 17th, 1963, the U.S. Congress passes the Clean Air Act. Now, we all thought it was much later in the decade, but it wasn't.
63.
The 63, the Clean Air Act was signaling the accelerated development of desmogging engines in the United States, which gradually sapped performance in the late 60s and through the 70s and even into the 80s, too.
And what was that, like a month after Kennedy was shot, right?
Yes, it was. Almost exactly a
I
month.
wonder if that's why they did.
I don't think so. But there was really no.
You're on to something.
There was really no sapping of performance in the late '60s. It all started with 1971.
Maybe Kenny didn't want to be smart.
71.
Yeah.
It was 71 actually when they started to drop the compressions, and 70 was a huge year for horsepower.
Yeah.
December 20th, 1989, Roger and Me opens. Michael Moore,
Oh, Jesus.
the scathing film about General Motors chief Roger Smith and the effects his decision had on Flint, Michigan, first plays in theaters. That had a major liberal slant to it.
Yeah.
And I've never watched it, but it might be interesting to see what he had to say.
Yeah, and what's going on with him? He's like losing it. These guys,
They're all losing it.
They're all doing TikToks, and they I don't know what the
It's all
heck
in the
they're
water.
doing.
They can't get all that adrenaline.
I don't know what they're doing.
Rosie O'Donnell's
Looking old.
complete. She's out in her backyard talking to squirrels and talking about
Yeah,
these
they're-
drones are all from outer space and
Right.
everything now.
With glasses.
We're getting visited by aliens
Yeah,
now.
absolutely.
I think they've been abducted by him. Nuts, man.
Could explain a lot.
Yeah, right.
It does, yeah.
Hollyweird.
Yeah, so
definitely.
really, like what we were talking about since I got to leave. The only car show that's coming up is really Saturday
In the Atlantic.
in the Atlantic,
Right.
and then Todd's show at the New Year Rod Run.
Okay,
All right. Well, because the other ones are not till January 18th.
right.
Vets in the Vineyard, the Summer Crush Winery, Barefoot by the Lake, January 26th, and then the River Ranch is January 24th and 25th, and that's all the way in.
There's nothing locally.
On that weekend? Nothing's
Or you
really
don't know
going
yet?
on. I mean, I got the flyer from Phil. His
It's holiday season.
I
everybody's-
see.
yeah, everything's kind of
Family's down,
slowing
all
down
kinds of
right
stuff.
now.
I'm sure they'll have the Saturday night cruising at
Yeah,
McDonald's.
the cruises are always going to happen. The third Monday of the month is the TA Truck Stop. The first Tuesday is the Vero Vintage Volkswagen at the Walking Tree Brewery. And the second and fourth Wednesday is Five Guys in Sebastian. The third Wednesday is the rotating lunch cruise that they're trying to get going between Vero Beach and Sebastian. That hasn't, I don't think that's taken off yet.
Who's sponsoring that?
That's a guy by name Bob Kaufman.
Okay.
If you want to do this, you could give him a call at 772-664-7091.
That's Barefoot Bay Exchange, actually.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Then the second and fourth Saturday, breakfast at CJ Cannon's at 8 a.m., hosted by the Indian River AACA. You guys go to that at all? You guys do that?
I haven't been to it, but I know Bob.
All right. Every Saturday is cruise to McDonald's and Vero. And then the third, like we said talking earlier, third Saturday, except for this, is today, this week, the third Saturday?
Yeah, it should be. Today's the
Yeah, it
18th.
should be the third Saturday. Yeah.
Is
It's
it already?
Dunkin' Donuts
Wow.
Beachside.
Yep. Oh, yeah. It's definitely Dunkin' Donuts week.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to take a break. Mike's taking off.
I'm
Mike,
taking off.
we'll see you next
see you
Monday.
next
We'll see
Monday.
you on Monday.
Yep.
And be safe. Be
All right.
careful.
Yep.
We'll see you then.
You got it.
We'll be right back. We're at Classic Car Radio.
Enjoy Riverside Theater's Comedy Zone, where the comedy is wild, untamed, and downright hilarious. Come out this Friday and Saturday night at 6 and 8 p.m. for the Treasure Coast's best live stand-up comedy show, featuring nationally recognized comedians with cabaret-style seating and food and drink table service. Warning, you may laugh until it hurts. Kickstart your evening with live entertainment, food, and drinks at Live in the Loop. Buy tickets at riversidetheater.com and get ready for a night of non-stop laughs.
The holidays are sweeter with United Way and Hale Groves. Now through December 25th, shop fresh, delicious citrus at halegroves.com/UnitedWay and support essential community programs. Use promo code UnitedWay24 at checkout to get 5% off. And Hale Groves will donate 15% of your purchase to United Way of Indian River County. Your order helps fund health, education, and financial stability programs for hardworking families. Spread cheer and give back this holiday season. Visit halegroves.com/UnitedWay today. Offer ends Christmas Day. Don't miss this sweet chance to make a difference.
When the check engine light comes on, turn to Treasure Coast Auto of Vero Beach. Time for an oil change? Turn to Treasure Coast Auto of Vero Beach. Brake work, alignments, maintenance, and more? Turn to Treasure Coast Auto of Vero Beach. Your certified service center specializing in alignments, repairs, oil changes, radiators, brakes, even auto electric repair. Just east of US 1 at 1212 23rd Street, Vero Beach. Turn to the local mechanics you can trust. Treasure Coast Auto of Vero Beach.
Hey you! Host your very own show every week at Evergreen Media Network in Vero Beach. Go live to YouTube and Facebook with up to 4 people and your very own producer. Be heard on more than 15 podcast platforms and local radio. All you have to do is show up and talk. Your guests can join from anywhere in the world. It's easy to get started with the largest podcast studio on the Treasure Coast. Contact Evergreen Media to tour the studio.
Welcome back to Classic Car Radio. I'm Keith McDonald here with Steve Charbonneau and Todd Byron. Mike Corrado just left. And I think Steve just left too because he's on his phone. So anyway. Oh, he's back. He's back.
You can't tell he's wearing them dark glasses.
I know. All right, so guys, we got some tech talk going on here. Boy, that last commercial, Jesse, you really got your voice up nice and high now. It's really super high in that one. Really good. All right. So you're working on the high stuff, huh? I mean, they were high before, but that last one was super high.
The voice that I got is the voice I got.
That wasn't really you, was it?
Yeah. Well, that last one was Erita. That last one was Erita.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, I was making fun of you. That's all.
I got you.
It's like, wow, Jesse, your voice is really getting high. A little bit of low T going on over there, or what? All right, let's do some tech talk, okay? Let's see what we got here. Jeff from down in Stewart, believe it or not, he says, guys, I have a 1955 Chevy truck that has some great patina that I'd like to preserve, but the previous owner replaced and painted the fenders on all 4 corners. Is there a way I can actually duplicate the patina on the new paint? Have you ever done that or tried to do that?
I've never really done anything
It's
like
paint
that.
it with brake fluid and let it sit overnight.
Sand through it.
Oh, there's different ways. A buddy of mine does it with a torch and stuff, and
Yeah?
you can age it and all that stuff, yeah. I've only messed with it a very few times. It's very hard to duplicate, to make it, if you've already got one panel done.
Right.
You got to try so much stuff to try to get it to look like that panel.
Right.
Yeah, and it depends on how they painted it, I mean, if it's if it stands out and the fenders are nice and shiny and the doors and all that are all cruddy, how are you going to...
Yeah, and
Right.
It's going to be really hard.
Yeah.
The pitch of the clear coat, the shine, to make it as dull as it is, too.
Yeah.
It's really hard to do.
I'll bet.
Yep.
There is an article at hotrod.com I did find. hotrod.com/articles, aged perfection, create believable patina. And they have dashes between every word. All you should do, though, is go to hotrod.com and in the search function, write patina. And then you probably have that article come up.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I can guess. I mean, you're not going to write all this down, but hotrod.com/articles/age-perfection-create-believable-patina. So if you really want to write that down and do
a lot of dashes.
That's a
Good
lot of
luck.
dashes.
It's like,
So
man.
that's why I say.
Dash it.
That's why I say.
Just type in patina and go for it.
Now we have a loyal listener named Mark, and he actually just texted me this. He sent it to my own personal email address from Vero Beach. So we'll do it for him. Mm-hmm. He's got a newer Ford, a 2012 Fusion 2.5. Do you guys know anything about this electric power steering? Immediately after the tornado, he lives on the island. My steering makes a loud groaning noise whenever steering wheel is turned. It's normal otherwise, and isn't notchy or hard to turn. It's just making that noise. So that's from Mark, my friend Mark. He wants to know, do you guys deal with electric steering at all on those Fords? And do you think you know what it is? What do you got?
I do. I looked at this car yesterday.
Oh, you looked at Mark's car already? I guess he said it before.
I forgot to price it out for him. I got a little busy because it's just me in the office. So
what's the problem with that, though?
The rack is gone itself.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah, it looks like one of the little boots blew and it leaked the hydraulic fluid out. So yeah, when you turn it makes a...
Okay.
You can hear it. Like, put it this way, I was across the street and I was having Derek look at it for a quick second because I had so many customers walk in at one time. We could hear them across the street.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Wow. So there you go, Mark. I guess you already talked to Steve about it.
You'll get your quote tomorrow.
But you'll get your quote tomorrow.
I'll do it probably tonight when I go back.
Yeah, this is a good reminder. Do it right on the radio. We're doing it for you, Mark. We're getting that quote done for you right now. So anyway, that was good timing. Actually, he did send that a few days before he brought it into you. And in fact, I did. Now I recall he did message me saying I went to Steve's.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, you did it. All right. Mark Mucha, right? Mark.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I like Mark. He's a good guy.
He's a nice guy. Very nice guy. Gary from Fort Pierce says, Todd, I have a 1966 Chevy Malibu with a bench seat. I'm 6'2" and I could use some more space. Can you give me some ideas on how to move it backward without using a welder?
Nope.
You can't? Why can't you just drill it and bolt it down? Well, it's a liability. Well, he could do it himself, though, can he?
I can't even recommend how to do it.
Really?
No. Sorry.
There is companies.
I'm sorry, man.
There is companies that make longer tracks, though, for different stuff.
Do they?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the name of them, but I know it used to be Sparks Customs or something like that, or Sparks Fabrication. They make all kinds of seat tracks.
Okay.
Because they made the seat tracks for my, take the seats out of my Duramax and put in my OBS truck.
Okay. Oh, there you go. What's the name of it again? Sparks?
Yeah, I think it's called Sparks Customs.
Okay. There you go, Gary.
There you go.
I got to tell you a quick story about that. But I was painting the Chilmark Town Hall on Martha's Vineyard with my crew, and this Ford Fiesta pulls in. It's all beat up Fiesta. And the guy in the car had his seat all the way back, way against the back seats. He was super tall, right? And I'm like, how did he do that? I mean, in Ford Fiesta, you know, how did he move that seat? He had it moved. He had to have, because the guy was like 6'2", 6'3". Got out of that Fiesta, it was James Taylor. It was James Taylor driving around a beat-up old Ford Fiesta. But I'll always remember that because he had that seat way back. And the only way you could have done it was have had it moved. You know?
I'll tell you what, though, some of those little, like the little Mazda Miatas, if I put the seat as far back as it can go, I can barely touch the pedal.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, some of them they'll go way back. The smallest of cars, you'd be amazed.
That's true. Yeah.
I had a Mini Cooper. It had tons of room.
Really?
Oh, yeah. You'd think it'd be all squashed up in there.
Right.
It's a Mini.
Right.
Yeah.
What do we got for time now? I can't even read it.
2.5 minutes.
What is it?
2.5 minutes.
2.5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I got in someone's car today, and I was like, man, this seat is the highest seat ever. My head is hitting the roof. I looked underneath it, dude, they got like 16 washers on each seat rail.
Oh, really?
I got in, I was like, man, I can't drive this car. I'm like, what is up with this thing?
All right, let's do another quick one. Doug from West Melbourne, it's a long question. Steve, I have a 67 Buick Skylark with a 300 V8 and 4-barrel intake with an Edelbrock 600 carb. Other than an Isky 262 cam and headers, it's pretty much a stock engine. I was wondering if the carb is a bit too big for it based on the formula on the internet. It says I should have a 500 CFM. Right now, I'm having some issues with timing and carb idle, and I get some run-on issues as well. Maybe I just haven't found the right sweet spot in the timing, but it could be the carb. Do you think it's part of my problem? Should the timing degree be more than stock 2.5 with the cam I have?
Oh, yeah, for sure. The timing's got to be a little advanced. A 600, honestly, with the cam on a 300, I mean, I think that'd be fine.
I do, too.
Yeah. 500, especially down here in Florida because of the humidity and stuff, you know.
Yeah, I think he just needs to find the sweet spot, like he says.
Yeah.
You know?
Might have to richen the carb up or maybe even idle it down a little bit, too. But then might have to play with the timing, too. I know some cars, when you put the vacuum advance on, they idle like crap. And then sometimes, like, I take a lot of the vacuum advances off. I'd start that, but he's definitely got to bump the timing.
What do we got for time now? We got 1 minute to go. Okay.
1 minute to go.
Brian from the internet says he's got an 81 Camaro with a V6, but he swapped a 327 in that is now toast. I'm looking for having the engine rebuilt by a local shop. I want to know what crate motors would be the best option. 350. 350 Chevrolet. Yeah, Good Wrench 350. They still sell Good Wrenches?
Yeah.
GM.
For about 290 horsepower. Yeah. That's good enough, right? Right. Thank you very much for listening. We are Classic Car Radio, Vero Beach. We're on every Saturday from 2 o'clock till 3 o'clock on the Patriot 107.9 FM. And we'll see you next week. And happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and all that stuff to you.
Peace.
See ya. We are out of here.